We all want our lives to mean something. We want to be significantly measurable. But that's the problem. Our lives feel so fleeting, so insignificant. And Psalm 39, our Psalm of the week, is blunt. Our days are few. Our lifetimes are nothing compared to eternity. Our lives are like a breath, verse 4 says. We go about as shadows, verse 5 says. We're like sojourners, verse 12, like travelers. The ground we walk seems so impermanent. So many things we value are taken away from us. And what becomes of all we work for? Listen to verse 6. Man heaps up wealth and does not know who will gather. What's going to become of all that we have lived for and worked for after we're gone? What can you do in light of all the liabilities that confront mortal people like us? What can we do to ensure a meaningful life? Psalm 39 answers that question. It doesn't answer it comprehensively, but in concert with the rest of the Bible, it offers a couple of very solid answers to the question, how can I live a meaningful life? Number one, get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. David describes an experiment in verses 1 through 3 in which he kept himself silent. He kept from talking for a while in order to muse or meditate, he says in verse 3. Now, meditation didn't give David all the answers that he was looking for. In fact, it raised new questions about his mortality. But it was important, this little experiment that he tells us about, because it better prepared him to engage God. Not until he got to know himself through quiet reflection was David prepared to ask God to help him think about the meaning of his life. And so to have a meaningful life, you have to know yourself. You have to know your frailty. You have to know what needs you have that only God can satisfy so that you can live a meaningful life. So get to know yourself. Number two, prioritize true holiness. What is David waiting for? What is he longing for? What does his soul desire? Which would answer the question, how can he lead a meaningful life? Well, verse 7 answers that question. He longed to walk with the Lord in holiness. And that's a meaningful existence, which anyone can live. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be, super well known to leave a legacy of walking in the Lord with the Lord in holiness. Sin is the greatest jeopardy to a lasting legacy. When God disciplines us for our sins, he consumes like a moth what is dear to us. Now, by contrast, pursuing holiness leads to joy, verse 13 says. David talks about the restoration of a smile upon his face. And what better legacy could we leave than a joyful walk with the Lord? Listen to Psalm 39, our Psalm of the Week, as it helps us to ask and answer questions about living meaningfully. To the choir master, to Jeduthun, a Psalm of David, I said, I will guard my ways that I may not sin with my tongue. I will guard my mouth with a muzzle so long as the wicked are in my presence. I was muted and silent. I held my peace to no avail. And my distress grew worse. My heart became hot within me. As I mused, the fire burned. Then I spoke with my tongue, O Lord, make me know my end. And what is the measure of my days? Let me know how fleeting I am, because you have made my days a few handbreadths, and my lifetime is as nothing before you. Surely all mankind stands as a mere breath. Surely a man goes about as a shadow. Surely for nothing they are in turmoil. Man heaps up wealth and does not know who will gather. And now, O Lord, for what do I wait? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the scorn of the fool. I am mute. I do not open my mouth, for it is you who have done it. Remove your stroke from me. I am spent by the hostility of your hand. When you discipline a man with rebukes for sin, you consume like a moth what is dear to him. Surely all mankind is a mere breath. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear to my cry. Hold not your peace at my tears, for I am a sojourner with you, a guest like all my fathers. Look away from me that I may smile again before I depart and am no more.